All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is YouTube's Pastor Dow. The other day I was having a conversation with someone, and it's really truly not important who I was having a conversation with, but what is important is the information that they thought that actually should be shared based on my comment or my outlook on life. And the topic of the conversations was shame. And I began to speak to them and talk to them about a particular situation that took place in 1998, where I saw a woman literally publicly humiliated. I saw this woman who at one time used to be a one-dimensional, unbroken, positive soul get literally run through the dirt, the muck, and the mire simply because she was a woman. She was a young woman in love with, according to America's so-called value system, forbidden to be in love with her boss. And I will say this again, because of America's so-called self-righteous value system, which is definitely not biblical or scriptural. I know that when I speak, I'm going to stimulate thought, but only the intelligent people will be able to grasp to what I'm saying, because you have to literally have the spirit of truth, and you have to know the truth when you hear it. And most people know only what they feel. They're not concerned with facts. They're not even concerned what God says. They're only concerned about establishing order in this world based on what they have chosen to believe. The woman I'm speaking about is a young woman by the name of Monica Lewinsky. I remember at that time, I said a few things, then I stopped. A few years went by. Her name is still being dragged through the mud. Of course, I'm maturing and growing in faith by then. And I started thinking, because I've read what the scriptures have to say about shame. I read how we as a people should be behaving towards each other. But the mudslinging never stopped. The name calling never stopped. The woman has endured much insults and much indignities. And I actually felt sorry for her a few years later after I had gained knowledge. And the reason being is because when you are reared and raised in a society which opposes the Bible, which literally goes against the Bible by its laws, its religious system, order system, churchianity, Christianity of today, when you really truly look back on it, and if you're gonna look from a biblical point of view, not from your personal opinion or mine, because the truth is, God don't care about the opinion of America. He don't care about my personal opinion. He definitely doesn't care about yours either. What he does care about is someone representing his truth and honoring that truth enough to be able to speak it, regardless of the backlash that will come from uninformed, ignorant, unintelligent people, which the world is riddled with that. It's almost like an epidemic. It's a literal disease today. But as I begin to think, as I matured, I began to think what the word says, consider one as yourself. I think she was like 22 years old, according to the story, that when she fell in love with the president of the United States then, Bill Clinton. And she was 24 years old when her private life came into the public. So from a mature point of view in the state, I started to think, I said, now I wonder, all the people out here that have started a mudslinging campaign, all these opinionated, self-righteous, pious, pompous people I wonder how many of them at the age of 22 has ever done anything in their life that they have ever regretted, but it's never came to the court of public opinion or the eyes of the public, or has never came out. It's been kind of swept under the rug. Most people call them skeletons in the bone. So my question is, how many of you at the age of 22 ever done something stupid that you've regretted? And because now, you know, a few years has done passed, you've actually, thank God that you're able to even forget some of the things that you've done. Not because you haven't put it out of your minds, because time has passed. Well, I thought this about this woman. This woman has been made a spectacle of. And of course, Bill Clinton is still, you know, getting $50,000 for speaking engagements. And he's still looked at as a dynamo, one of the most intelligent presidents there's ever been on the face of planet Earth. His reputation is still intact. But this woman has literally been branded a tramp, a whore, a prostitute, etc., etc., etc. So I started thinking about the tyranny of a system or a society who says that they follow the Hebrew Bible, yet they put the laws of this land, forced monogamy, above the actual biblical marriage or lifestyle. Because the truth is, when you see things and you view things from a scriptural point of view, not a religious, because religion is wrong, especially Christianity. When you view things from the scriptural point of view, you know, what he has to say about it. And I started studying this subject, and I come to realize that a great injustice has been done to a lot of people. See, because the truth is, Monica Lewinsky was actually Bill Clinton's wife. Because according to the Bible, you don't need a marriage license from the state in order to become a government wife of somebody else and participate in low-value prostitution, you know, by selling yourself for a piece of paper and a fee that you give to the government when you enter into a third-party contractual agreement. Now, I know that I'm speaking things that will literally upset people, because I know how your mind is shaped. I know how it thinks. I know how it's been formed. It can form. You've been trained, and you've not been educated. And so a lot of times from our training, we actually put forth words, statements, suggestions, thoughts, emotions. We voice them, and we actually really truly think that we're coming from a position of truth. It's sad. You know, it's really sad, because one day we all going to stand before the just Yah, whether you believe or not, don't believe. It makes no difference. We are. And it's totally irrelevant what we choose to believe or not believe, because nobody's going to be exempt. I mean, you can choose to think that after this there's going to be nothing else all you want. It still doesn't change the fact that we're all going to be judged one day for the things in this life. And I started to, you know, begin to express to the person about some of the things that people are, because, you know, people are literally unmerciful. People never, ever, ever consider one as themselves. People always assume that they are the best judges of everything. That's why they're very opinionated. And the internet, cyberbullying, troll, you know, the different superlatives that they actually give, or the names that they give to people who actually type words, say words with the sole purpose to injure, simply because they themselves are experiencing rejection in life, and the only pleasure and joy that they can get out of life is by making other people miserable. And of course, you know, chances are these people are going to die a very bitter, cancerous death somewhere along their 50s and 60s. Life going to be snuffed out and cut short. That's just the way it is, you know. But I began to speak to this person about that type of shame. And then I began to tell that person, I say, you know how this woman has been able to overcome in life, even though that the public has chose to continue on with this stigma right here. You know how she's been able to overcome? By simply speaking on the subject of shame. Now, should she use herself as a platform or a poster child of that? No, I don't think so. I think she just literally should just speak to it, because she's speaking to a bunch of people that every single one of them have done things that they're literally ashamed of in life. Literally. And most people I tell you, the unmerciful attitude, the unmerciful spirit that we're dealing with in the hour that we're living in now is just utterly appalling to me. The scripture says, brother, if you see a man overtaken in a fault, you that are spiritual, and that's the problem we're having today, is people are not mature. You consider one as yourself. You go to them and restore them in the spirit of meekness, you know, and that's why I continue to keep touting over and over and over again. You know, many of you have been living 40, 50 years. You still don't have a best friend. You don't have a friend. You never will have a friend, because while you pointing your finger at everybody else and demanding all these changes out of them and expecting for them to first bend over backwards to show themselves friendly to you, you are the one of the problem, because the Bible also says if a man is going to have friends, he must first show himself friendly. Most of you too prideful. You have too much dignity to do something like that because you feel like you're vulnerable. And of course, the greatest strength of a man or a woman is willing to be vulnerable. Of course, that goes totally, and it flies in the face against what you call your educational value system. And believe me, I'm not pointing forth the fingers. I'm just simply stating facts here from a mature mind, because you see, Pastor Dowell is 49 years old. So that means I've lived a little bit in this life, and I have not wasted my life on riotous living. I've actually spent the majority of this life in the book, in the scriptures, trying to gain wisdom and not practicing foolishness of this lifestyle. Now, I would tell you, first of all, number one, I don't care one damn bit about what America says or think. Its laws, its systems, anything. That doesn't mean I'm gonna go out there and dishonor and disrespect and transgress their laws. I'm driving right now. I'm obeying the traffic laws. You don't see me getting pulled over for transgression, do you? I don't care nothing about what they call morality, because how in the world can a world be moral or have morality when they've just got finished sanctioning what the Bible calls an abomination by legalizing sodomy and women with women? There's no way that I'm going to let a nation or country like that even have any influence on my life whatsoever at all, especially to the point where they're going to tell me what's righteous and unrighteous. That's not going to happen. And I definitely am not going to follow the immoral or wicked practices of this religion called Christianity, which many of you still to this day keep getting offended and keep getting mad at me. But the one thing you will not do is investigate what I've said. Because if you investigate what I said, the one thing you will find out is that Pastor Dowell has not only been brutally honest, I've been painfully honest. And the truth is, you're scared of change. You're scared to be right in a wrong world. Well, I hope I said something to stimulate thought, and I hope the sole purpose of this video, which I hope you grasped and got, was for the purpose of informing you to not go around thinking yourself judge, jury, and executioner on certain situations. I don't mean you give it a pass, you judge righteous judgment, but man, I tell you what, remember to always show mercy in judgments. That's if you are in the position to judge. If you're not, then the best wisdom is keep your mouth shut, lest the same thing that you judge come up on you. And you know what? Some of the people that were very judgmental on Monica Lewinsky, if we could actually parade their life up in front of the public right here, guess what? You would receive the same condemnation from an unjust world. My name is Pastor Dowell. I've spoken you the truth and the truth straight way. Y'all have a wonderful day.